Hi to everyone. This is the session dealing with the revision on the third unit database management, and here I am going to cover the parts which are essential or which are important one. We will move on to the revision session based on the concepts database, relational data model, structured query language, and then how you will be interfacing Python with an SQL database. So here the database concepts deals about the some of the important technical terms related to this database management systems. It is called as DBMS, and if it is a relational, it is called as relational database management systems. So you are going to deal in your syllabus regarding RDBMS. So the basic concepts regarding this RDBMS are data redundancy, which means that the data will be existing in multiple places. It is called as the duplicate data. For example, if you are having in your system, if you are having 4 or 5 drives, and if you want to save the files, you will be saving the files for safety enough to in 2 or more places, that is in 2 or more drives. Then this causes the duplicate data which occupies the memory, that is you will be wasting the memory. This is called as data redundancy. So in database concepts, that is in RDBMS, this should be dealt with the to avoid the unnecessary occupying of the memory spaces. The next term is the inconsistency of the data. That is, if you are having the same data in different formats in multiple tables, that is, in one table you will be having a data. For example, you take the hospital database management system. Under one common patient, there the record will be somewhat different, and when the patient is admitted in cancer, again the same patient, but you will be having the multiple tables, that is the address will be different. Okay, it causes an inconsistency. If the patient is a normal patient and if he is giving some details, and the same patient, if he is admitted in the hospital for some other treatment, and if he is giving different address, now you can say that it is in the form of different formats, but the patient is the same. This is called as the inconsistency. So whenever you are going to deal with the database management system, if there is any correction in one part, then that should be corrected in all other places which has been saved under that name. So this causes a data inconsistency. And data redundancy, it causes the data inconsistency. Since the data is saved in different places, if you are making changes in one places, it will not be reflected in the other tables. So this is called as the inconsistency. So redundancy causes inconsistency. Next, database concepts regarding the important term integrity. What is meant by integrity? So here you have to say that the data which you are having, or it has the correctness, consistency, and then the completeness of the data. So this is the definition regarding the integrity. Here we are having three integrity: entity, referential, and then domain integrity. What is the difference between these three integrity? Going for entity integrity, here it checks whether the database is having primary keys and it should not be null. Likewise, when you are going for this referential integrity, it specifies a relationship between the tables using the foreign keys. Then domain integrity, it is a domain for all the columns. So all these three integrity specifies the correctness, consistency, and completeness of the data. Next, we move on to the relational data model. Regarding this, the important two terms are tuple and then the attribute. So tuple is regarding a row, and then attribute is regarding a column. So you know tuple is a row and attribute is a column. What is cardinality? It specifies the number of rows. So TC, that is tuple, and cardinality regarding the rows, attribute and degree, it specifies the number of columns. Okay, moving to the next important concept, key. What is a key in a table, or what is a key in an RDBMS? It specifies either a single attribute or a set of attributes. Then what are the keys or the types of keys? We are having primary key, candidate key, alternate key, and then foreign key. Okay, we will now understand what are these terms refers to. A primary key, it should be unique. Unique in the sense, for example, you know that the ID or the roll number of a student, these are all the unique one, and that value will not be repeated for the other records. And then candidate, it can serve as a primary key. We can have number of fields or attributes for a single thing. There all that keys, which all that attribute that can serve as a primary key can be called as a candidate key. Then what is an alternate key? The candidate keys which is not a primary key can be kept as a candidate alternate key. Then what is a foreign key? It is not a key attribute, but it is derived from the another table. For example, if you are having 2 or 3 tables, and if you want to link the 2 tables, then there should be a common column between these tables. That common field is called as a foreign key. Here we will see one example. Here this is the table which is having the student ID, roll number, first name, last name, and then the email. Here we can say which is the primary key, which is the candidate key, and then which is the foreign key and alternate key. You see here, this is a single thing. As I have said that the ID is not repeated for any of the student or any of the person. So it is called as a primary key. And what is a candidate key? It can serve as a primary key. So the student ID, the roll number, and then the email. All these three can serve as a candidate key. Okay, from this we have taken the primary key. Then what about this first name and then the last name? They are the alternate keys because they are not a primary key. Then moving to the foreign key, we'll see the same example with the, since I have said we have to link the 2 tables. Here 2 tables are given. One table is with the department code, department name, and the course in the department. Next table is again the student ID, role, department code, F name, U name, and then if you are going to link the table, that is the first table which I have seen in the previous slide, we are going to connect with this table department code. Here in this table 1, that prior table 1, that department code acts as the, that is the serve as the primary key. So regarding this table 2, this department code can be taken as a reference for this table. So now here this department code acts as a foreign key. It is a primary for a primary key in the table, but when you are going to refer from this, you can say this acts as a foreign key. Okay, so it creates a relationship between the 2 tables, and it is called as a referential integrity because you are going to refer the field or attribute of one table with the other table. So it is called as a referential integrity. Referential integrity, it deals with the same database. Under a database you will be having so many number of tables. So within the same database this referential integrity should be applied. Okay. Next concept is regarding the structured query language. You know that it is a programming language, and then it is used to retrieve, manage, and store the data using the relational database management system, and it is created by the Microsoft Windows, and it works for, that is, it is created by the Microsoft company, and it is working well with Windows operating system. Partially it will be working for Unix, Mac OS, and that too it will be working with the latest versions, and the old versions of SQL will not be supported for this Linux and then the Mac OS. Next, regarding MySQL. What is MySQL? It is a relational database management system which uses a structured query language. Okay, and then it is an open source platform, that is, it is available freely, and then it uses the queries to for doing the operations on the database like retrieving, management, and then the storing of the data. Then it is created by the Oracle Corporation. Initially it was created by some other company, but it is owned by Oracle Corporation, and it is doing its latest versions, and it is a cross platform. Okay, it will be working in Linux, Ubuntu, and all. Yahoo, Google, Facebook, all these, when you are searching, it works under this query concept, that is MySQL concept, and it supports so many languages like the given one, C++, R, PHP, Python, Visual Basic, etc. Moving to the next topic. here regarding the SQL, it is SQL commands. You know that in your syllabus it is regarding this DDL, DML and then TCL. Here is another category of DCL. It is combined with this DTL in your book. Okay. So data definition language, data manipulation language and transition control languages, and then the data command languages. So we'll see what are the data control languages. What are the DDL commands? Creating a table, alter, drop, truncate, and regarding this DCL, grant and revoke, as I said, this is included with this DTL in your syllabus. And then manipulation is regarding this insert, update, delete, and then the select, and transaction control is regarding this commit, rollback, and then save point. So I am not going to go depth into this commands. We will see some of the important commands as well as the difference between some of the terms, that is the commands, which makes us to confuse regarding the working or the operation behind them. Okay. Then constraints, you see what is a constraint? It is a check. Okay, it is a condition or check. When you are creating a table, you will be having so many fields. So you have to check which column should have value, which column should not have, which column should have a unique value to all these, and which column will be supporting the other formats. Likewise, you have to set. So the constraint is the limitation or the condition or the check given to a set of columns or attributes. So it specifies some of the rules what I have told now, and then my SQL check constraint gets passed but ignored. In SQL generally I said that it is a language, and my SQL is a Oracle Corporation supported software which uses that language. Okay, so here the check constraint, it gets, that is it accepts but it is not parse. It gets parsed but it is not working, so it is called as ignored. Someone will be saying that check constraint will not be accepted by MySQL. It accepts and parse but it ignores the result when after the parsing. That is the thing. Next, going for the create and then the alter, here the constraints are not null, unique, and then the primary key. So these three constraints should be used again under this create and alter commands. Okay, and then some of the other, here the not null, all these three, not null, unique, and then primary. Not null means the column cannot have a null value. For example, date of birth or student ID, this should not have a null value. And some as I have said that primary key should not be a null. Likewise, unique, all values in a column are different. Here again the example is student ID. And then primary key, here the combination of not null and unique. It should have the constraints of not null as well as the unique. So it is these three works under this create and alter table. Next constraints are foreign key constraints, and then check constraints, and then default constraints. Foreign key, you see here, it would destroy the links between the tables, so prevents the actions that would destroy links between the tables. You will be checking which is the primary key of the another table and how you are going to link it with the foreign key, as I have explained in the example. So this is one constraint. And next check is the constraint which ensure that the column values satisfies a specific condition. And then default is a constraint, that is it is given to the same value given to the all the records in a column. For example, the year of admission of the people in school, so the year will be the same for all classes. So likewise you can say guess at the default values. Okay, next is the create index. It is used to create the index as well as for data to get the retrieve the data quickly. In your book also, if you are having 20 to 50 chapters, and in that you will be having sub chapters. If you want to look into that, you will be going to the index instead of searching the whole table or whole book. You will be getting into the index and looking after that from which page that is starting, and you will be searching for it. So likewise create index, it easily retrieves the data, or we can, for easy reference or quick reference, this index is useful. Moving to the next, you see here create. Before creating, that is before executing the create query, you should be working under a parent database. So first use some or create some database, use the database, and after using the database you go for these commands: create, insert, and then alter. Okay, next is the update command. When will you update the command? If you want to modify the sum of the values in the existing table or existing records, you will be going for this update command. When you are updating the command, you should use the var class, which will be checking for the records in the table. Otherwise, if you are not using the var class, then whatever the things you are updating will be updated across all the records in the table. So var class will be used to modify the records if you want to modify any updation in a specified row or a specified record. Otherwise, all the rows will be updated. Okay, regarding the difference between the delete and then the drop command, what is delete and what is drop? You know that both delete command will be deleting the records in the table and drop will be dropping the table. Okay, drop table. So then what is the difference between these two? It is the DML language, and then removes some or all tuples or records. If you want to delete all the record also, you can delete. If you want to specify, if you want to specifically delete any record, it can also be deleted using the var class condition. But once the delete command is given, it cannot be rolled back. That is, we can't get the data back. And then here, even though if you are having a table with some specified records, for example, if you are having 10 records, if you are issuing the delete command, that records will be deleted, but the space allocated for that record will not be deleted. It will be available in the memory space. So what you have to do, if you want to delete all the records from a table, you can go for the drop table, where it removes the elements as well as the structure of the table. So here there is no need for var class, and then here this is also cannot be rolled back. Sorry, in delete it can be rolled back, can be rolled back. Here it cannot be rolled back. Okay, freeze the memory space, and then here, as I have said, that the structure is deleted, you will be getting the free the space which has been allocated for the table. Here the structure is not deleted, so we can roll back the records. That is, in the sense, whenever you are issued the delete command, and if you are giving rollback in that, whatever the thing which has been done before that rollback will be caught up. Okay, this is the difference. And regarding the classes, what are all the class? So before that, what is a class? It is the inbuilt functions. In programming languages, you know, some of the inbuilt functions will be available. Likewise, in SQL, we are having some inbuilt functions that are called as the class. These are some of the class: select, from, where, group by, having, and then order by. You know all these. I am going to deal with this group by, having, and then order by. So here the position, how these classes will be there. For example, select anything, that is field or column name, from the table name, where the condition, group by according to a column, having some condition, order by based on ascending order or the descending order. So this is the position of the classes. You see, here is a command: select some columns from the tables where the conditions, group by columns, having the conditions, order by the columns. Okay. So regarding the var class, as I've said, it is used to filter the records based on some conditions. Then how you can give the condition? It is based on the operators. Some of the operators which are supported in the var class are these: equal to, less than or equal to, and then between operator, it is used for range checks, and like is a one operator where it goes for character comparison. In that, if you are using this percentage symbol, it is used for substring comparison, and if you are using this underscore symbol, it is for the character comparison. Okay, and then in, it is going to, this operator works on the list of values, and these are the logical operators like and, or, and then the not. I have given the symbols which has been used here. So select, insert, update, delete, all these can use this var class. Next, individual rows. The var class will be acting on individual rows or the individual records, and it cannot be applied with the aggregate functions like max, min, average, like and all. Okay, so that is the case with the var class. Moving to the where class with the having class, because having class is also condition, where class is also based on condition. Then what is the difference between this where versus having class? Where, as I have said, that it will be used with these commands and then it acts on the individual rows, whereas having, it will be used, having cannot be used alone, it can be used in conjunction with the group by, and it is applied only to the groups. It uses the aggregate functions. So where and having class together used under the selection case, and then where restricts the result set before returning the rows, and having restricts the result set after bringing all the rows. So we can say that where is the faster one, because before the selection where condition will be worked, so it will be filtering the records and then it will be giving. But having is the case where it will be getting all the records and then only it filters. So we can say that where is working faster when compared to the having class. Moving to the next class is order by. You know that you can order the records or sort the records based on ascending or descending order, and then in order by, the default order is the ascending order. Okay, and then distinct, this is another class. When you are going to select the records from the table, if you want the unique record, then you can use this distinct class to avoid the duplicate values. Alias, this is one thing where you can give a temporary name to the table when you are using in the select. When you are using this alias concept, it will be working when that query is executed. After that, it will be erasing in the sense the duration will be exited. So as is the keyword used for alias. For example, select star from student, and if you can name that student name as S. Likewise, the column name can also be modified. So this is the purpose of alias condition. Group by, order by, or having classes not used in the var class. So the column value may not yet have been determined, as in the sense var class will be recording based on a single row or a single record. So group by, order by, or having classes cannot be used with the var class. What are all the aggregate functions? They will be acting on a group of records, so it is called as the group functions. And that the calculations, it will be returning the single value even though it is working on a set of values. And some of the aggregate functions used are these: sum, min, max, average, and count. And then only with the select and having you can use these aggregate functions. Then null, is null, and is not null. What is the difference between these three things? What is a null thing? A null value is different from a zero value or a value field that contains spaces. So null in the sense it specifies it is having some space. You can insert some values, but if it is a zero means it is not giving any value. So null is a value having some field spaces. And then a field with a null value is one that has been left blank during the record creation. So if there is any need, you can insert any value by using the alter or update command. Okay, so if you are issuing in the value as a zero, then you can't make any changes in that record. So null is that value. And then what is the use of this is null and is not null? It is used to check the values whether that field is null or not null. For example, is null operator is used to test for the empty values whether it is having the empty space. As I said, null specifies the empty spaces, so it is checking whether there is an empty spaces. Likewise, for not null operator, it is used to test the non-empty values. Moving to the joins, we are having different types of joins. In your syllabus, it has been restricted to equi-join and then natural join. So here I am going to give an overview of the SQL joins and then the topics which has been covered with an example for equi-join and natural join. So what are joins? It is used to combine the rows from two or more tables based on a related column. Here the categories under this SQL join is inner join, left outer, right outer, and then the full outer join. And joins, in your syllabus it has been restricted with the Cartesian product on two tables, one, and then equi-join is the second one, and natural join is the third one. So we are going to see the examples related to these three joins. Okay. So regarding the Cartesian product, what is the Cartesian product means? Here, if there is no condition is specified, the Cartesian product will be giving whatever columns present in table 1 with the table 2. All that columns will be crossed, and then all the values will be given. So the resultant table will be getting the attributes of both the tables, including the duplicate or common columns also. So the duplicate records will also be produced in the result. For example, see the two tables, one is having roll number and name, and the another one is the table having the roll number and then the marks. So these are the two tables with the two fields. Okay, when you are going to perform the Cartesian product on these two tables, what it will be giving is, here it is having 3 rows and 2 columns, here 3 rows 2 columns. So based on these 3 rows, 3 into 3 you will be having 3 rows into 3 rows, you will be having 9 rows. We will see the answer how it will be. You see here, in the first table it will be having the roll number 1, 2 and then 3. So for each and every record in this table, the second record 2 3 4. So for first record, the record present in the table, all these 3 will be produced. For second record, all these 3 will be produced. For third record, all these 3. So you will be getting 9 values. So this is the Cartesian product. What is the drawback behind this is, you will be getting the duplicate records. Going to the next join, that is join is a, so in generally you can say that join is a Cartesian product followed by a selection product process, as well as a join operation pairs the two tuples from different relations if and only if a given join condition is specified. Tuples in the sense rows from the different relations means different tables. Okay. Then in your syllabus you are having equi-join. It is a type of the inner join. You see here, equi in the sense it will be using the equality operator to refer the equality in the var class. In the Cartesian product, we will not be specifying the var class with the condition. Here we will be using the var class to specify the equality. Only the equality can be checked here. So it is the most difficult operation to implement efficiently in an RDBMS. So equi-join is classified type of inner join. I have said that in general in SQL language you will be having equi-join, outer join in left outer and then the right outer full outer join. So it is a category of a inner join. We'll see some example related to this equi-join concept. Okay, in the same example before, we have student and marks as the two table, and if you are using the equality operator based on, for example, here you see student dot roll number equal to marks dot roll number. In both the tables you are having roll number as a field. So I am going to select the columns or the records from the two tables which is having the same roll number. In the first table you are having the roll number 1, 2 and 3. In the second table you are having the roll number 2, 3, 4. So 3 and 2 are the common things. So the roll number 3 and 2 is taken, and based on that I am going to select the roll number, student name as well as the mark from the second table. So the mark is also given. So this is the result of the equi-join concept. Since I have said that equi-join is a type of a join, you can also make this equi-join in the form of using join as a keyword. This is the same example. I have used it in the different form with join as a keyword. So select the name, marks. Here I have selected only two columns, one the name and the other one is the mark. From the student, join, you have to join the table 2. So the table 2 is marks, where you have to specify the equality operator or equality condition. Here it is specified. You will be getting the same answer. Okay, moving to the next concept of, you see here, the same concept which has been included with ARE student roll number and then the marks. So here the condition is given. The other thing is a natural join. So Cartesian product, natural join, equi-join. The third thing is a natural join. It is based on same attribute name and data type. So it will be working on the same attribute name, and then the data type should also be the same. So the resulting table, all the attributes of both the tables, but we'll be having only one copy of each column. Here it eliminates the duplicate attributes. This is one. This for the same example, the query is select star from student S, natural join marks M. So here this is a student table has been named as S, and then the marks has been named as M. So when this query is given, you see here it is selecting the star. So all the roll number, name, and then the marks has been selected because you are joining the table. Here you see it is getting 213 B and C and then 70. Here we didn't specify any of the equality operator, but this natural join is working to get the result which has been specified by the equi-join. But equi-join is a difficult one to operate on a relational database management system. So natural join has its own advantage. So the other joins we have to see. Inner join, I said equi-join, natural join, they are the categories of the inner join. So in general, the joins will be categorized under these four main classes, and inner join includes this equi-join and then the natural join. The other thing is the Cartesian product, which is simply specified as a join where we can get the duplicate rows or columns. So inner join, it records the having the matching values in both the tables. Left outer join, it will be having the matching between the two tables as well as the columns the records in the left table. In right join, you will be returning all the records from the right table as well as the matched records from the left table. Likewise, full outer join returns all the records when there is a match in either the left or the right join. All these joins has been specified in the diagrams. Here see inner join only the matched columns, right join all the tables in the all the records in the table 2 as well as the matched records in this, and then the left join all the records in the left as well as the matched records in this right, and full outer join it is going to give all the matched records as well as the records in left and then the right tables. Next, moving to the interface with the Python. Here you see pip is the command which is used to install the MySQL connector Python with Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Unix, and then Ubuntu. So when you are using this pip command, this is the syntax to be followed. Pip install MySQL connector Python. So this is the syntax to be followed to install the MySQL connector into your system, and you should have Python in that. And this is the statement used to connect with the MySQL database. So after installing this, that is connecting with the server MySQL connector, this syntax has to be used to connect with the database. Moving to the another connector. This is also specified in your syllabus, that is py mysql library. This is also one library which is used to connect the mysql database. Here you will be using the syntax as pym connect off. So this is the syntax used to connect the py mysql library. Next is how you are going to connect it. Means you first you have to start the Python, import this, and then connect to the MySQL using this connect syntax. See here pym connect localhost, you have to give the username, the password, and then the name of the MySQL database which has been given. That's all. In this session we have seen some of the database management concepts in this quick revision. So with this the term 2 revision ends. Thank you for the people who are all watching my channel. Thank you.